Ever wonder how a soccer game can be more than just a game? Like how it can become a tool for diplomacy? Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're looking at Morocco and their incredible game plan for using sport, something we all get excited about, to literally build their future, strengthen their communities, and even boost their influence across an entire continent. It's a fascinating story, so let's dive in.
George Orwell had this amazing quote. He said, "Sport is war minus the shooting." And honestly, he really hit the nail on the head. I mean, think about it. Whenever countries face off, it's almost never just about the score. It's all tangled up with national pride, identity, and yeah, a whole lot of high-stakes politics.
And we've seen proof of this time and time again, right? You've got these incredible moments, like North and South Korea marching under a single flag at the Olympics, a huge symbol of unity. But then, on the flip side, you have the 1969 football war, yeah, an actual war sparked by a soccer match. And of course, sport can be a massive force for good, like when the world used boycotts to help bring down apartheid in South Africa. So yeah, it's way more than a game. It's a political battleground.
Okay, so those are some powerful examples. But what happens when a country decides to get proactive? When they stop just reacting and start using sport, strategically as part of their national game plan? Well, for a really amazing example of this, we're going to zoom in on Morocco.
All right, so in Morocco, this whole thing kicks off right from the very top. We're talking about the monarchy. They've always known that sport is a big deal, but the way they've used it has totally changed over the years. It's a really interesting evolution.
So you can really see two distinct eras here. Back with King Hassan II, it was all about national prestige. Host big international events, get Morocco's name out there, elevate the country's image. A very top-down kind of approach. But then, with King Mohammed VI, there's this major pivot. The focus shifts inward. Now it's about human development, using sports to build up local communities, from the grassroots level.
And this isn't just an observation, it's official policy. There was this royal letter back in 2008 that just spells it out perfectly. It calls sport a powerful lever for human development. Wow. So it's not just about finding the next big star athlete anymore, it's about using sports to fight exclusion and bring people together. The whole mindset shifted from sport for glory to sport for the people. That's a huge deal.
Okay, so you have this grand vision from the king, but a vision is just an idea, right? How do you actually make it happen? Well, that's where government policy comes in. This is the nuts and bolts, the national playbook for getting it done on the ground.
And if you look at the timeline over the last 40-plus years, you see this one super clear trend: decentralization. It's all about pushing power and money away from the central government and down to the local level. But the real game changer was in 2005 with something called the National Initiative for Human Development. This thing basically said, hey, building local sports facilities is a part of our national strategy to reduce poverty. That sport for the people idea got baked right into the system.
So we've got the high-level vision and the government policy. Now let's look at where the rubber really meets the road. And in Morocco, that means one thing: football. What happened with their National Football Federation is the perfect case study of this entire strategy in action.
And I mean, the change was like night and day. If you look at Moroccan football before 2014, it was, well, kind of messy, inconsistent, no clear vision. But then this new president, Fouzi Lekja, comes in, and everything changes. He brings in a whole new strategy. And this wasn't just about hiring a new coach. No, this was about rebuilding everything, the stadiums, the management, and here's the kicker: their entire diplomatic relationship with the rest of Africa.
So what was the plan? You can basically break it down into 3 key steps. Step 1, diplomacy. They went from being kind of isolated to actively building alliances all over Africa. Step 2, infrastructure. They knew you couldn't get top-tier results without top-tier stadiums and training centers. And step 3, governance. They brought in professional managers and put tight financial controls in place to make sure the whole thing was built to last.
And look, when they said they were focusing on diplomacy, they were not kidding around. We're talking more than 35 partnership agreements with other African football federations. That's huge. This wasn't just shaking hands either. They were sharing coaches, helping build facilities. It was a massive exercise in what you'd call soft power.
So the big question is, did it actually work? Oh yeah, the results just speak for themselves. The national team makes it to the World Cup in 2018, for the first time in 20 years. Moroccan clubs start winning the big continental championships again, and suddenly you see Moroccan officials in major leadership roles all across African football. The playbook was working, big time.
Okay, so this strategy is clearly working for Morocco. But is it unique? How does it stack up against what other successful countries are doing? Let's zoom out and take a look.
If you look at the heavy hitters in world football, they all have their own secret sauce, right? Germany is all about stability and long-term planning. Japan's model is built on these amazing youth academies. But Morocco's strategy? It's totally different. Their innovation is geopolitical. They made diplomacy a core part of their sports plan, which is pretty radical when you think about it.
So here's the main takeaway. While most countries are rightly focused on what's happening on the field, the players, the tactics, Morocco's game-changing moves were happening off the field. In the meeting rooms, in the diplomatic negotiations across Africa. Their secret weapon wasn't a star player. It was a strategy of partnership and influence. And all of this leads to one big final question. We've seen this blueprint, grassroots focus, top-notch infrastructure, and savvy diplomacy work wonders for football. So can they take that exact same playbook and apply it to all the other sports in the nation? If they can, well, it feels like Morocco's game is really just getting started.